All right, let's get started. So, let's see, Windsor Park, Unit 48, 157, Lauren Grossman.
Where is that?
It's on Bearing.
Oh, Bearing.
It's nice and clean, ready to go.
Wash it dry or extra paint. That was all.
There's another one, 1111 Bearing in the St. Clair condominiums, 210, Sabrina Elias.
Those are high HOA.
Let's see, HOA.
Very nice. Does anyone know?
Yeah, 12.99.
Wow.
12.99.
Whoa.
$12.29 a month.
So,
Wow. Whoa.
it's a nice building. It needs some updating, but it's a nice building, good location. Especially with the new high rises coming around.
It does say TV, cable, water, concierge.
Got a lot of amenities there.
They have a lot of amenities. Pool, tennis court. Hey, here's Commerce Tower, Unit 1205, 225, Vicki Evans.
What's fresh carpeting versus new carpeting?
A lot.
Good question.
About a year and a half ago.
Thank you.
5922 Kansas in Cottage Grove, 349.9, Danny Gleason. $21.14 Gardenia in Oak Forest, $369,850, David Atkins. Quite a yard.
Really?
3811 Sims Point in Katy at Churchill Farms, 409 Rosemarie Stiglitz. Big house. $54.42 Jackwood in Meyerland, $568,950, David Atkins. Danny, we just saw your Cottage Grove. It looked real nice.
Cool. What's that yesterday? So I looked at it today. 3 showings today already.
Wow, that's
Wow.
great. That's a good sign. 4020 Childress, 610, Unit B, Courtney Cole Hall.
Prices seem to be going up.
Going up.
I mean, We're already in the 600s.
Well, that's just this week.
1315 East Vista Wood in Lakeside Place, 630, Sandra McHenry. '35 River Hollow, 635, Lisa Marshall. '2211 Bissonnet in Southampton, 639, Headley Carpus.
This one's a really cute 1930s bungalow.
That is adorable.
3-bedroom, 2-bath. The sellers have put on a new roof, redone the electrical and the plumbing. Really nice open kitchen on the quiet street of Bissonnet.
That's really cute. 2510 Mandel, 649, Julie O'Neill. Mandelina? '934 Chisel Point in Green Trails Park, also in Katy, 649,999, Rachel Solar. '5215 Birdwood in Meyerland, 679, Brina McLaughlin. Wow, that's a closet. Sauna. Just what we need with 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
630 Bendwood in Vaughn Villas, 700,000, Joanne Lamons.
I bet by now Joanne has sold every house in.
In Vaughn Villas, yeah.
Yes.
She lived in the bungalows?
No, she did years ago, but she's just always been the leader in there.
It's like Cheryl Ford, I bet she sold every
Yeah.
house in
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
'6408 Taggart in Camp Logan, 725, Jennifer Jackman. Is there a cat in the shower?
Yes, he's a character, that cat.
This cat not included.
Oh, my God.
I stuck him in there.
That's funny, I don't think I've ever seen that. $49.18 Gibson, $828.8 Vicky Barzande, Rice Military. $1704 Stanford in Montrose, $868 Elizabeth Gregory.
That's a big lot.
Yeah, it is a big lot.
What is that?
Hold on, I've already forgotten. $868, 2592 square feet. Let's see, it's a 4-bedroom. $7537 Audi School, $875 Martha Adger. $9333 Memorial, Unit 102, $900,000 Vicki Evans.
Hi,
Hi,
Wow.
timing.
this is an amazingly beautiful, it's in a mid-rise. They've lived here 32 years. It is, everything they did was of the highest quality. There's windows, there's every part of the home. You can walk outside onto this terrace, so you really feel like you're in a home. And you really see the trees, even though you are facing Memorial, but there's the wall right there, so you see beyond the wall. The appliances are all fine. I think the kitchen probably needs some updating. Somebody's gonna probably wanna change the counters and the look of that a little. But honestly, you could move into this house as it is and be very, very happy. I think there's one purple room or something like that, but other than that, it really does, it's been freshly painted. It's spotless, all this beautiful wood, it's all the built-ins everywhere. There is more storage in this unit, 3,700 square foot unit. There's more storage than there is in most homes. They have 3 parking places, and they're very close to when you get off out of the garage, out of the elevator to the garage, they're right there. This is the 3rd bedroom they made into a study. These built-ins are top quality, they're beautiful.
This is like the 4-story.
It's a 4-story.
I
This
love
is the
that
one
building.
Sandy Parker had on the 3rd floor that they
Okay.
still have for sale because they started high and they're now around this price. But we had 2 great showings in the last 3 days, and one I think we're gonna be getting an offer on.
How much is the
Really,
maintenance fee on it?
sorry, yeah, the maintenance fee is high. That's the only downside.
Okay.
But don't forget, this is almost 4,000 square feet. All right, so it's huge. It has 24-hour concierge. It's got a pool, but it doesn't have valet parking. So it's a high maintenance fee for not the highest of services, but it's just one of these, Esther Shelby used to live in this building, it's just like one of these really solid,
It's a nice building.
it's a nice building, and you don't really feel like you're in some high rise. So if
Right.
you you
Right.
know, for people that are coming from a home that aren't quite ready for a high rise, and then all this almost 1,000 feet of patio. So you can plant, you can have a garden, so that's it.
How much is it?
900.
900.
So have you checked like the HOA? I'm curious about what their budget is, why it's so high.
It's old, it's been around, I don't know, that's been high. I've known this building for a while and it's always been high, so it's not like it has had increases since I've known about it.
So few units.
Sorry? And there's so few units, that's right. There's so few units. So that creates that ambiance that you pay for. Thank
Also,
you. I knew there was something.
It's a great location. It's more than that, because you've gotta have reserves, so
Well, yeah, the reserves are good.
you gotta have that high maintenance fee, because there's not that
The
many.
reserves are already good, but I think it's about, there's not that many people.
Yes, but eventually they're gonna have to do something,
Yeah. No, it's, yeah.
gotta have the money for it. Or just.
All right, 1807 Indiana, 925 Josh Green.
Wow, this is cool.
Yeah. Look at that kitchen, wow. Eleven four oh three Chauncey Oaks and Royal Oaks Country Club, 975 Andeel Stein. Wow, it's floating. So we have two photos.
Yeah, she said they're coming soon.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. What'd you say? 975,
And it has a casino.
4,043 square feet.
Yeah, they do.
That I'm looking for.
One-story home with casita, yes.
See in those, that front right of that picture.
Yeah.
A little like, it's almost like a one-car garage that they
Right.
turn into a casino.
5334 Calais Cadiz Place. Sarah's, I'm sure I butchered that. 1,125,000 Stephen Worrell.
Just so you know, that house, I think, is 3 doors down from.
From what?
Bregman.
From Alex Bregman?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
That's worth
He's
the
the Cutie
bonus.
Pie Astro.
Yes.
Third baseman.
The cutie pie Jewish Astro.
He won't be living there long now that he's just got $100 million
Yeah.
contract.
Get him, somebody
He's a
get him.
cutie pie.
Looking for a house.
Looking for a house.
Oh, wow.
Are you his agent?
I know a good lender. Who is his agent?
I'll volunteer.
You're not telling? I know.
Who wants him to buy one of his?
Is it one of ours?
Walter, you're no fun.
You're no fun. I'll just go up there and ring his door.
Eleven oh eight, Usner, is it Usner Street?
Hi, Usner.
In the Heights, 1,149,900, Danny?
Yeah, this is wonderful new construction, beautiful house in the Heights. House directly probably love this house. Real contemporary, got linear AC beds, it's 4 bedrooms, 4 full bathrooms, 3 playroom. High end throughout the house, it's just gorgeous. Got a big backyard, room for a pool. Got unfinished quarters above the garage that they'll finish out. Someone like the one price. Got high end appliances, Fisher Paykel double dishwasher, marble sink there, huge master, custom closet. Just a gorgeous house.
Any place you can find an elevator?
Hmm.
I have a fire.
Just two-story living.
I know, but if you can't walk upstairs, it doesn't matter if
Yeah,
it's
it's
two.
full bath downstairs, bedroom and full bath down. Big yard, two balconies in the back. One of the first one, I think, would expand the whole length of the house. Nice.
It's gorgeous.
That's the quarters there on the left to finish out someone. And all these pictures here, I took myself.
Good to know.
Drove around and took them better than
Really? Good.
Lululemon, that's fun.
that. Even my iPhone. It's not good to put up my iPhone.
Hey, 12403 Rick Van Winkle in Frostwood, 1,175,000, Inga Smith.
That's cute.
Robin,
Yes,
also forgot to mention on my Usner, it's open today, 12 to 2.
okay, open today, 12
12
to
to
2.
2.
3903 Tennyson, Westview, 1,650,000, Karen Harbor.
Okay.
So that's a good pool rendering, actually.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
$39.18 Colquitt, 1,769,000, J Monroe. $31.14 Quimby in Monticello, 1,899,000, Lori Welch. Construction.
How many square feet is that? I'm sorry.
It is 3827.
What street is that?
That's on Quimby.
I need to talk about Janet's meeting.
4514 West Alabama in Afton Oaks, 1,999,000, Marlene.
List at a lower price.
A relist at a lower price. Okay.
And it's a winter price home, just fabulous. Very few people in the office have seen it, but it's just really wonderful. It has, you come to it, it's like a zero edge pool, which is kind of rare, but it's beautiful. But anyway, it's 5 bedrooms, it's in immaculate condition. These folks are going to California, they're ready to go.
You know, hold it open again?
I'm not gonna have it open today, I had it open yesterday, Sunday. But I enjoy it, and I really enjoy it. Cross the street from where I live.
This is the zero edge pool you're talking about?
That's
It has
cool.
Sunday on it and,
An infinity pool in your own backyard.
really,
Right.
it's, and cool.
Fifty sixteen Tangle Lane, 2,495,000, Kiki Wilson.
This is going to be open Thursday 12 to 2 and Saturday 1 to 3. It was finished in 2017 and then featured on the cover of Traditional Home magazine. It has got a lot of upgraded finishes. The homeowner hired a designer in town to help him finish out the house. First floor living, real nice yard with a pool and a covered cabana area. Elevator capable to all 3 floors, real large room sizes. It's 5,700 plus square feet. Lots of storage, lots of built-ins, and it just shows beautifully. It's even prettier in person than the
What's the
pictures show.
address?
Tangle Lane.
Yes, Tangle Lane.
5016 Tangle Lane, and it's on a driveway with only 4 homes, so it's not real crowded. It's spaced out nice. You've got that big yard that's on the front.
Nice.
And that's their own pool?
That's their own pool. Yes.
Wow, pretty.
He did this incredible, like 10 by 10 or 12 by 12, I can't remember the dimensions, this wine cellar that's part of this music room. It's phenomenal.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
And it's 4 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, game room on the 3rd floor with a 4th bedroom, plus the study, plus large landing area. There's just a lot of square footage. It shows really well, and it's got real good flow.
How much is it?
2,495,000.
We pass up that song in the listing?
You got 5,700 square feet.
Oh, and also Kiki wanted y'all to know that she's going to have her Brentwood open Thursday from 4 to 7 with wine and cheese if y'all can come by and see it or bring a fire.
Brentwood,
Brentwood.
4 to 7. 506 Thamer in Hunterwood, 2,990,000, Catherine Warren.
So this is just a relist. We've lowered the price considerably. It's come down over $1 million. But it's an acre and a half, and only a small portion of it sides to Memorial, but it's not in the Hunterwood HOA. The house is really well built by a known architect that is evading me at this second, but did commercial buildings and houses in Meyerland that were in the mod tour. The fireplace in the living room is super deep and they keep it going all the time. It's just that is a Cheryl Wagner bathroom that looks a little bit like Annabelle's in London. So I think the house is beautiful. It's a house that a lot of people have copied over the years. It has a metal roof and the facade was ahead of its time. The inside needs work, and I do think it's now finally really in the range that it should be in. So, please come by.
That size lot.
Right, 66,000 square feet. It's an amazing, and it not only does it have all that land, but it has extra land in the front that makes it's not included in that
66.
It's not included in the 66. It really feels super generous on the land.
And 9010 Sandringham. Say that, Nevaeh Wood, 6,000,005, Kelly Geithner.
It's one of the prettiest streets.
Marilyn, you know anything about this one?
I don't. Wow, look at that. Okay, Elizabeth, or, where is everybody?
Right here.
Oh, there you are, come on up. Yeah, y'all come on up. I told Karen, Robin, when I walked in, I said, this Robin.
Robin's
There's a lot of Robins around here.
They're rocking.
I said, no, wait a second. I told Rob, I told this Robin yesterday, I said, wait a minute, they were just here.
We were here last week, most of you didn't remember. I'm Elizabeth Rankin-Weiss, Robin Hargrove. We are with First United Bank. We got a lot of response last week from those of you who weren't here on our Purchase Plus renovation loan, where you can take a house that may need some work, flooded, or non-flooded. We can incorporate all the renovations into one loan, 30-year fix, interest only during the construction phase, and rolls into a permanent loan when the house is complete. And Robin brought some information that
There's some things over there. I did a flyer for Kevin for a property he has listed, so like $1.7 million, and he thinks it's gonna take $1 million to get it where it needs to be. So combined 2.7 million purchase. We escrow for that $1 million reno. And so we're probably the only ones that'll go that crazy on something like that. And I put together some numbers for him so that a consumer, HGTV, they can visualize, hey, I could make all these things work. Bring your contractor out there, show them your house. Then they have some payment numbers in there. And I'll tell you what the rate on that deal would have been, 4.25, 30-year fixed rate money. That's really strong money.
one loan,
One loan, doesn't adjust, not all that stuff. So, and then Lisa Marshall had a listing that last week that was needed about $75,000 because a portion of it flooded, needed to redo the kitchen only. And I thought, well, that would be the perfect reno deal to do. But don't just limit us to renos on that product. You can buy the house and like, hey, I want to do an outdoor kitchen, a fabulous pool, la la la, add it in. So, even if they're buying from a builder does not want to have a pool often in their contract unless they're in control of it. So we'll take two contracts, the contract for the sale of the home, the contract for the pool, put them together, and then they can get them wham bam all in one loan. So if you're talking to somebody and you're showing them houses and they're like, gotta have a house with a pool, gotta have a house with a pool, stretch outside that box and go, this house is exactly what you want. Let's put another 100 into it for a pool or 120, whatever. You design the pool and we'll put it all together in one loan. So it's a really good product if you've got a listing that's kind of like needs a little imagination to it. But then if you've got a buyer that just can't find what they want, so, you've shown them 500 houses and they just can't find what you hit, then maybe they need to make what they want. And you need to, they want a certain neighborhood or something like that. Find the house in the neighborhood that with 400,000 or whatever would become the house they want. So it expands. And when you're in a listing, a listing deal, tell your client who doesn't want to update their property ever that, hey, what you could bring to the table in addition is I've got a product where you don't want to update it. I can help a buyer update it in the loan, and that increases, the more buyer opportunities you have, the better you can do on pricing.
What is the appraisal that you come in with?
Appraisal has to come in.
With the
Appraisal has to
renovation.
come in at renovation.
The appraiser gets the renovation, the appraiser gets the bids.
Yeah, gives the bids.
So it's future value. In addition to, we'll allow 2 contractors on one transaction. One for the renovation, if someone wanted to do a pool on top of it and the contractor won, we'll allow up to 2 contractors per transaction.
Amazing.
It's a good product.
So it's a really good product. So there's some little flyers over there, the example of the Lisa flyer, not the example of the Stokes flyer, but there's also a little order form. If you have a listing or something you want some flyer done on so that the consumer can see the math, just fill this in, send it over to one of us, and we will definitely put together something similar like that. I think it would be good on a sales presentation when you're trying to get a listing. If you can tell somebody, look, I know you don't want to do this, here's some options for us. And then also when you're showing people houses. So, we also have Dr. Money and our Jumbo Money Strong, and we service pretty much everything in the close. So.
Wow. Are y'all gonna be here next week?
Yes,
We're
every
gonna
week
sign-
until everybody knows. Until We'll take it.
And thank you for bringing.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you. Okay, last week, we had a big discussion about photography. And I thought, and y'all asked for Julie to come talk to us. And I thought, Julie hadn't been here in so long, so I called Julie and said, Julie, are you free next week? And she said, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I am. I can come next week. So I said, perfect. So Julie Pistone, who I still say is Julie Krampus, and I still call her by her maiden name. Julie Krampus is here with TK Images, and she is going to talk to us about number 1, what's going on, the trends and all that, and then the guidelines. But Julie, come on up. I just want to, Walter and Martha Adger, y'all come see me right after this. I have some really, really good gossip for you.
That is so much.
That's not one tip yet, so they'll be the ones who understand. So we're glad you're here.
Thank
Let me turn off the light.
All right. Yeah, it's always so nice. I feel like I'm coming back home when I'm here. So my roots started at Martha Turner. I have a little PowerPoint presentation for you. Let's see here. And then, so I'm just gonna hit this.
No, the little arrows.
The arrow, okay. So some of this is old information, but it's nice to have a refresher, and then we have some new information as well. So our mission at TK Images is to build visual connections with every photograph we take under the tenets of quality, customer service, and dedication. And we're really stressing this to our team with our core values to exceed your expectations. At TK Images, just remember always that the photos are the single most important factor in selling a home. Buyers rate photographs as the single most useful tool in the search for their home. They're out there searching before you even have a chance to see what's new. They've already been notified while you're out showing other properties. You only have one opportunity to make a great first impression. Photos are the first impression, the deciding factor to view the home in person. So they're making that decision when they're looking at it on the internet and saying, do I really want to go see this in person? And that's the goal, is to blow them away with those photos online and make them think, oh gosh, I've got to go see this in person. If you have poor photos, then you just missed out on a potential buyer. As the saying goes, a picture's worth 1,000 words, and in your case, it's worth thousands of dollars. If you have great photos online and you're getting that traffic into the house, guess what? You're selling it faster, which means less open houses, less advertising and all of that, which is saving you money. And there are statistics that they do sell for a higher price having the professional photos. Be consistent. You're branding yourself by always having professional photos. So I think most of the Martha Turner team and realtors have professional photos, but every now and then you might get a listing that is maybe a smaller one, 100,000, or it's a lease listing. You're like, oh, I may not spend the money on it. And in fact, I belong to a luxury networking group that we sponsor and we meet monthly. They can only talk about listings in that meeting that are 500,000 plus. And I was there yesterday, and I and myself and many of the other realtors in there were completely shocked because there was a listing shown that was $800,000 and the photos were absolutely horrible. I mean, horrible. And I just thought, number one, I can't even believe sellers allow that because they know and they're looking at what the competition is in their neighborhoods. And this was actually a realtor that uses us, but obviously she doesn't use us for every single listing. And I don't by any means think she had someone else. She must have taken them on her own and they were horrible. And I had agents coming up to me after saying, you need to talk to her. She needs to use your services. And I said, well, she does, but she just doesn't do it all the time, apparently. So again, remember, you're branding yourself. And when consumers are out there and they're pulling you up and they're seeing the listing that you have, and then they're going to your profile and looking at all the listings you have, if you don't have the same look to all of your listings, then they're going to be like, well, I wonder what happened. Oh, I guess they don't really care about the lower end. You know, they're only going to do the professional and the high end. So just remember, you're branding yourself, being consistent. And a lease listing today could be a $500,000 buyer, you know, in the next couple of years. So just keep that in mind. Use professional photography as a tool on your listing presentations. And we have a lot of people that actually use our website and show this is the company that we're going to use. You can look at their portfolio. You can look at how to prepare the home, everything online through their website. And always, I love to say this, is that the homes become a product. And I try to really educate when I'm speaking about professional photos and all of the services that come with listing your properties to educate the homeowners. If you want me to sell your house, we now need to look at this as it's no longer your home. We've got to emotionally detach ourselves from it. This is now a product for sale. So just really educating them and telling them now it's time to take down all those personal photos that are in your home and to declutter and get people focused that when they're coming in the door, that they're thinking about themselves and not who lives here, how many kids do they have a dog. You want to deep clutter and depersonalize and let them know it is a product. And it's funny, I'll talk to some realtors and they'll be like, oh, I hate to, you know, it's all their personal stuff and I don't want to make them feel bad that it's so cluttered and they collect so many things and they have a lot of trinkets everywhere. Guess what? You're a professional. They're looking at you to sell it. So all you have to do is educate them. And you can even blame us and be like, the photography company said in order to get the best photos and get that traffic in, we've got to declutter and make it look good. So the process. To schedule, you can always call our office. You've got sweet Emily here that you all have talked to many times on the phone. You can email your request or you can go online through our website and do the schedule now. When you do the schedule now, it's very detailed and it'll ask you questions and it'll say, you know, what's the square footage of the home? Do you want to meet us? Is there anything special we need to know? Are we going to go in on super or combo, etc.? What the questions you'll find that we're asking now more often, always we've asked the direction the front door faces because that helps us to time it for the right time of day. The zip code. So we are always asking the zip code now because many times there's an address that's here in Houston, but it's also down south. So having that zip code, you'll hear all the time, we want that zip code so that we can make sure we're mapping it correctly and that we don't show up at the wrong place just because there were two addresses with two of the same addresses but different zip codes. So houses with square footage that's over 6,000, we're going to usually tell you that we recommend booking an extra 30 minutes, which is only $50. And that just allows the photographer not to be rushed and to be able to really go through and get everything. There have been many times that we're photographing the $6 million home that's 10,000 square feet, and we had no idea when we were getting there that that's what we were going to be walking into. So we've really put this in place so that the photographers know ahead of time when they see their schedule. They see, oh, okay, this next home I'm going to be photographing is 10,000 square feet. They did book extra time. If they didn't, it's okay. And sometimes, you know, they don't, and it's okay. But the photographers are booked back to back. So they have to say, you know, if we weren't able to finish in time, we have 45 minutes to get it done, we can book a return shot. But why not just have an extra 30 minutes and get it knocked out while they're there? And then we'll ask you the approximate number of photos. There are times that it might even be a 3,000 square foot home. And for some reason or another, you may only want 10 photos. So We like to kind of get a range. It doesn't mean it's set to that at all. And many of you know that we'll just go in and take everything, and we've got over 70 photos. And then whatever you pick is perfectly fine. But we kind of like to get that ballpark because a lot of times you know ahead of time your budget, what you want to spend on this. We have some clients that want to show everything in the house and have 50 photos. And then we have others that say, you know, my strategy is I don't want to show everything. I want to give them something to entice them to come see, wait, there's more at this house that you're not even seeing on here yet. So everyone has a little bit different strategy, the way they're going to do it. And we just like to know ahead of time so we can let the photographer know what you're looking for.
So Julie, on
Yes.
like a 5,000 square foot house, about how long? I'm just guesstimating the time it would take.
So our appointments are 45 minutes, basically. It can go 45 minutes to an hour. We book all of the photographers an hour and 15 minutes apart. So we're hoping they get done in 45 minutes. That gives them 30 minutes to get to the next appointment. Sometimes the appointments, you know, of course, are only just like 15 minutes away. So much is clustered right here. So they're pretty close, but generally 45 minutes. And really, if it is a 1,000 square foot home or it's a 5,000 square foot home, you know, they're still getting the kitchen, the same angles and everything. But when it does get larger, you're getting into more details. And now with 50 photos on MLS, there's a lot more. And when you have 50, you still are taking more than that to have the selection of 50. So it does take more time when that happens. And that's why when they are larger, booking a little bit extra time does help. So contact sheets. So you all are probably getting very familiar with contact sheets. I have to tell you, since it changed to 50 photos, these contact sheets have really come into play. What happens on a contact sheet is the photographer goes in, they photograph the home. There are many of you that are like, you know what you're doing, Bill. I use you all the time. I love what you pick. And so they'll leave it up to the photographer to pick, and they'll say, I want 32 pictures, I want 50, whatever it may be. And they'll leave it to the photographer to pick, which happens all the time. There are other times that you might have a home where you say, you know, I'd really like to see these pictures before I make my selection. Well, the way that we can do that is by sending you a contact sheet. Our goal is to get these contact sheets out by 8 a.m. the next morning. We have team members that are on the East Coast, so they're up an hour ahead of us. And they're up at 5 in the morning getting it. So sometimes when you get those emails at 6, in the morning, that's them doing it. But we send those out. We try to get it to you by 8 o'clock. And then if you can get it back to us, the selection by 10 a.m., we can still process the same day. There's so much that goes into the photos of editing. There's the adjusting, which is the first step. And we have to take all the jobs through the adjusting. And then we take them all through the editing. And that's why generally the photos are ready in the afternoon, because there is so much love put into every single photo that we touch, and we edit every single one. So when you do get a contact sheet, generally if it is 32 or less photos, we're going to go ahead and do the first step to it, which is adjusting. And that is where we're kind of color correcting a little, not all the way. And we're changing the brightness and all of that. But if it's over 32, we don't do that because it's very time consuming. So sometimes you'll get a contact sheet and you'll be like, oh no, these colors look off and the pictures look dark. But don't worry, it just means that they never went through the first step. Because we can't spend that time when someone's really going to only end up selecting 10 photos. And then we spent all this time on 50 photos adjusting. So it's all a time thing. But I think you all are getting used to it, and you know how much the photos do change during the editing process. So don't worry if the photo's not straight, the color's off. Sometimes it's funny, we send contact sheets all the time, and then all of a sudden the agent will say, well, there's a tripod in the mirror. But it's okay. And we say that in the email that you get. It says, don't worry, the grass is going to be green. We're going to put in a pretty sky. If you see a tripod, we're going to take all of that out. So just never fear. We promise we're going to make it look beautiful. And then, as I mentioned, every step goes through that 2-step editing process. Often when you're at a photo shoot and you're talking with the photographer, and perhaps, I'm trying to think of an example, maybe there is a sign in the yard that you can't get out. It's your sign, and it just won't come up. It was a hard one to put in the yard, and so you're talking to them and saying, can we make sure we edit that out? Or what's another example, Emily, that's a little bit more common, like on the interiors, that maybe it's a name on the wall.
Yeah, or
So-
like paint splotches on the wall.
Yeah, so if it's a name on the wall, number one, I think it's great to tell your homeowners, for security and safety of their home, you don't want to publicize the children's names. So as long as there's not a pattern on the wall, we can take that out like that and there's no charge to do it. Just let us know you want that done. But if you communicate something with the photographer, like say for example, it's grass and maybe they're about to plant new grass or one little patch is brown because they just replaced it or something like that. Just it's probably better that you contact us and you can even call us from the office. Say, I'm here with Bill right now. There's one patch of grass that they just planted. It doesn't blend right. Can you make sure you Photoshop that? And then we'll put that in the note because they're in back-to-back appointments. So sometimes, it might slip their mind and y'all discuss some kind of detail. They do have a little program where they can put it in the notes, but if you can just contact us directly. And then also, as Emily was saying, like paint splotches. So what's really important is that you don't do anything that is misrepresentation. So even though it's a home that has paint splotches, if that's not going to be touched up, then we can't touch it up, even though it's super easy often for us to do. If a buyer's going to go there in person and they're going to see the home and they walk in and they're like, well, I didn't see that on the photos, all those splotches everywhere, and then this is going to really need to be repainted. You don't want to misrepresent. And also, even if it is going to be repainted and blend well, we don't want to do it until it's been done because we don't want a buyer to go in the next day and still see it that way. You can do side-by-side photos as well. Sometimes we've had where they want to change the front door color. Now, not everything we can always do, and a lot of times we have to actually see the photo, so we need the photographer to take it first, get it in our office, and have an editor. The photographers don't edit, so they don't know what is entailed in changing things. So it really needs to run through the office so that the editors can see it and know, is this something we can do? Is it something we can do for free? Because anytime that it's going to take us a second to do it, we're going to do it for free. If it's going to take us 20 or 30 minutes, we do have to charge. It is time. So there are times on an example for like changing something inside the home. Do you have one?
Like wall colors? Or
Oh yeah, so that's where I was going with it, a door color. So sometimes someone wants to show that maybe the front door, it's red now, and you would really want it to look like a wooden color. Can that be done? Well, you can do it. You just need to put them side by side on MLS or put them both on MLS. And then just say, this is how it is now, and this is how it can be. But don't just change the color of the door and it not really be, and only have that one photo on there. So you always want to make sure you're representing the property correctly and not misrepresenting, but you can put photos in there to give them ideas and show, as long as you're doing the side by side, so they can see what is true and what it can be. And then, I don't know if you all know this, because I feel like we're still learning this, but Matrix, what I love about it is we can load to incomplete listings. I don't know if management, everyone knows that, but it's great. But it also makes everything a priority in our office as well, because it's like everyone's ready to go. So everything's a priority every day, but it really is nice, and I highly recommend, do not go live until your photos are on. Wait until they are on MLS before you go live. And if you write your captions, get all your captions in there and make it beautiful when you launch that listing where there's nothing more to be done. You've got them in the order. I mean, it's so nice because you can go through. We're going to load them and we're going to try to put it in the order that we think the home is in. We have not been there, the office people, the photographers, that is the one that's been there in person. So when it's a vacant home, a lot of times it's a little bit more challenging. But usually we can kind of tell a general flow, and we try to put it in that order. You also, if you receive a contact sheet, when you send your selection, you can say, I want them to appear in this order, and you can list it, and then we'll number in that order, and we will load them in that order for you. But if not, you can go in, and once you see them all, then you can sit there and rearrange them and then put your captions and then go live. Make it absolutely beautiful. You know that that's when the most attention that listing will get is as soon as it goes live. So make it perfect. And also, like if you needed a revision, then you've seen it ahead of time and you ask for, let's go ahead and get the name off the wall, or any type of revision, let's get that done before you go live. Loading to MLS. So photos are ready next business day, and we do automatically. We run the active listings and we see if it's on there, and then we run the incomplete and we see if it's on there. If you have the MLS, it's great for us. We love that. It makes it faster for us to find the listings. So if you want to send that over, even when it's incomplete, that's wonderful. But if not, we do have access to all incomplete listings and we can just run it and find it there. If active or incomplete, if you can let us know. So when you book the appointment, you can say this one is active. Maybe you already have photos on there and you're updating. Let us know ahead of time if you want us to add or replace them. Sometimes you like to look at them first, or you're going to pick and choose what you're going to currently keep online that you have and which ones you're going to add in. So letting us know that ahead of time so that we're not sending you an email saying, do you want us to add or replace? And then it might take, a little bit longer to hear back from you, and it's just a delay, so that we can make sure we're getting everything done quickly for you. So what's new with the trends? Well, having 50 photos on MLS, you can show quite a bit more. So doing lifestyle photos and detailed photos. So not showing necessarily the overall entire room, but also showing the entire room and then the detail. Like this is a media closet here with all the equipment, the pantry with the pull-out shelves. So showing those details and letting the buyers know how this home has custom features. So let's see. Okay, set that there. And this is really neat. So this is on a kitchen counter, and then that's an electrical. So it goes all the way down and you can pull it up and put the electric in. The waterfall coming off. So just detailed shots really showcasing what makes this listing unique and different. Also showing area photos. We have a ton of stock photos. They do get out of date every now and then, so just let us know if it's out of date and it needs to be retaken. But if you have a listing that's walking distance to restaurants, show those restaurants. We may not have them all. So you can even, when you book your appointment, if you know you want lifestyle photos, you can say, can you send me, before the appointment, can you send me what you have on file for this area? And we can send it to you, and then you can look at it and you can be like, oh, well, that restaurant's changed names. We need to get it updated of this, or, oh, they don't have this elementary school in their stock, so we need to make sure we get it. So then we know ahead of time, while the photographer's there, let's have them go ahead and get these couple of other area photos. And if we do have it, it's only $2.50 for the photo. You can keep it on file. We'll send it to you in your link. And you can keep it on file and download it to your computer, and then you can use it free of charge on all your future listings. So any future listing, if we have to gather it every time, then the charge is there. So even though you're using the same photo every time, but we're having to gather it and post it, then it's $2.50. But if you want to keep it on file and you want to add it, you can do it absolutely free once you
Because that's important. So area photographs, once they buy it from you, they can keep it and use it forever. As long as it's still, like Westview Elementary, it's gonna change.
Right.
So they can just, if they list a lot in Westview, they buy it once.
Yes.
And it's there.
And it's only $2.50.
Well, I think that's important to know.
Yeah. And now if it's an area that, we don't have stock photos. So the first time that we're going to take it for you, it's just the normal $5 and it's going in, but you've got that. And that's because it's a brand new photo that we're having to send through the editing process and all of that. This is not a brand new photo. It's something already ready to go and edited. So if you're doing new photos, even if it's just something we didn't have, or it's a restaurant that changed, or whatever it may be, but it's something you're wanting, because sometimes you might want it, but then no one else ever uses it again. So you do have just the normal initial charge of the $5. And then again, showing grocery stores, showing the schools, showing workout facilities, just whatever's nearby and letting, and that's what the trend is right now, is with the listings. What is nearby this home? Where am I going to go to the grocery store? Where can we work out? Is there a YMCA? What's near me?
Do you have your stock photos, like these neighborhood photos, like Whole Foods, do you have a list of them?
Thank you.
Or do you have them online where they can say, I want this, this, this?
So we have them in files where we have master plan communities that's in a folder, and then it's broken down. And so then what we do is we send you the contact sheet, and so that you can see what we have. So we have them divided by master plan community, townhomes and condos, high rises. Now, townhome and condos, when they have amenities such as The pool, the high-rise exterior, all of those are complimentary. We're not charging you, you're not paying a dime for those.
Oh, I didn't know
As
that.
long as we have those on file, we include those for you. And we can still send you a contact sheet because there are many that there's like a lot of like Almeida, what is that address? 5625 or something, Almeida. We have a zillion photos of the building and you're not gonna want all of those. So we're not gonna assume and just put everything on the listing. We will send you a contact sheet or you can ask us for a contact sheet. And then you can pick what you want loaded to that listing. But when it's a common area and a stock of that belongs to and is going to go with that listing because it's a community pool, well, not community pool, because in a residential neighborhood that wouldn't be. But if it's, just a complex, so a high rise or a townhome that has the workout facility or whatever, then those are, if we have them on file, we can send you the contact sheet. Again, I would ask for all of that ahead of time. Ask for it before the appointment so that you can see, oh no, these are out of date. I mean, lobbies and high rises change all the time. So we do get out of date and we don't realize it until we hear from you. So checking out those contact sheets before you go to the photo shoot. So if the photographer needs to take something new. Yes.
Hi, Julie.
Yes.
Anyway, nobody's better than you. We all love you. To Marilyn's point, I think a lot of neighborhood shots, I think when you send me your contact sheets, are not great.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like Montrose has so much going on. And when you have something that was a restaurant from 5 years,
Right.
So 2 things. Number one, could you guys look at your neighborhood, especially Interloop? I mean, there's so much happening and changing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe look at what your stock photos are and send Andre or Tad or somebody out and kind of beef up your library.
Mm-hmm.
And or can we send you suggestions?
Absolutely. You can send suggestions. And we have told the photographers, we recently just had a photographer meeting last week and said, realtors are now selling a lifestyle.
Right.
So when you see a brand new HEB that just went up or whatever, Whole Foods, take it for them. The thing is they are in back-to-back appointments. So they don't have a lot of time. And there are times that we have someone that they're like, I need the tennis center over here. I need well, we need to book another appointment when it gets to that. So we have to work together.
We're not really talking about not specific to a complex
Yes.
or a building like you
Mhm.
have great shots of my building.
Right.
But I live downtown and you don't have great shots of Fenn Hall now or the
Mhm.
train really, maybe you have the train,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
So a lot of that's going to be that when an agent says, I want these, then we're going to go and take it, but we're going to have to book it into that appointment time. And that's how they get
well, I think for
refreshed
your
and
stock, though,
replenished.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
for your stock, can you beef up your stock?
We can work on that, yeah, but it does take time and, it's just they're in back-to-back appointments. And that's one of the points is that sometimes someone does want quite a few. And when they're taking stock, they're having to park the car, get out, set up the tripod, get one shot, get back in the car, and doing that 10 times, that takes a lot longer than just photographing a home. So there are times where someone's needing a lot of stock and we might say, well, we're gonna have to actually book a photo shoot to get all of the stock because they won't have enough time to zip around. And sometimes people are like, oh, there's a area pool. Well, I mean, we don't know exactly where that area pool is and they're trying to, go around that neighborhood and try to find it. But yes, we have relayed that to them to try to be on the lookout for that. Again, they are in. So if there's certain areas, we can try to set up some shoots here and there to get some of those more common and more popular areas that are usually needed.
Your list.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So again, right kind of date, making sure that when the photographers get to the house, so this is not only, getting to the house, but when buyers, drive up, they're making their decision from the street. But making sure those recycle bins are out of the way, the trash cans are out of the way, that all the window treatments are going the right direction, and just making that curb appeal look fabulous to get them in the door. And they make that decision often from the street, like, am I really gonna like this house or not? So best time of the day, the morning is going to be for east-facing homes, the afternoon is west, and the north is not really that good. So we just say any time of the day because it shadows itself. And that kind of changes throughout the year too with the amount of sunlight that we have. So even late afternoon isn't that great. I mean, a night shot is wonderful and a cloudy day is wonderful for north facing. South gets most of the sun, so morning and afternoon are usually great for south facing homes. So this one's taken at the wrong time of the day. This faces west. When you take it at the right time of the day and you get the right angle, not showing all of those electrical lines, you don't want a photo looking like that. This is what it should look like. So
You can't take out-
timing.
You can't take out one.
No, and this is just the positioning of how the photographer framed it. But yeah, when we have those 3-story townhomes and the electricals going across it, we cannot take that out, absolutely not. But we do everything possible to try to capture it without it showing. We even had HAR call us one day because we took a photo where there was a high-rise building in the back, and there was another listing in that same area where it's captured. But in this particular home, they were able to do it where it wasn't captured. And HAR said, another agent reported about this listing. Did y'all Photoshop it out? And I was like, no, I can show you the raw file. Like, we could not Photoshop it out, and we would not do that. So, so this is your money. And then the night shots, just showing you the difference that they can make. Night shots, also keep in mind, it's just not your exteriors lit up, but it's also your interiors. The interiors come out much better because it's the ideal time. The sun is going down, it's still light outside, but the sun is not as dark. So the home becomes a product for sale. I'm gonna have to get a little closer to this, but so reading over some of these, make sure the light bulbs are so important. Often there's a mix of light bulbs, and guess what? They give off all different colors. There's been a time where there's a bed and there's a nightstand on each side, and one has one type of light bulb and the other one has another type of light bulb, and it does not look good. And usually the photographers will just turn the lamps off in that case because it's giving off completely different colors and it looks really odd. But even your, recessed lighting, all of that. You want to avoid the fluorescent bulbs, no fluorescent bulbs, and it says in here that you want the soft white, LED soft white lights. We have the sheet available on our website, and we have it available as a PDF, and you receive it every single time with your reconfirmation email so that you can forward this to your homeowners as well, the sellers, to help them get their home ready. This gives you an example of what the light bulbs do. And this is, just putting in a different light bulb is going to give off those different cast of colors. So light bulbs really make a difference.
Are y'all promoting this no natural light? I know there's another company
Yeah.
out there that's like saying.
It's not our favorite, no. No, I think it's more for homes that are in California where, they're on the water and they've got like all these big windows and a ton of natural light. No, we do not think that it looks that great. We think having lighting looks better because we can balance out too in Photoshop the lighting if needed. So the temperature of light bulb will affect the cast of color. Again, ideally LED soft white gives the best light for photography. Avoid fluorescent bulbs. Make sure light bulbs are the same throughout. That's really important. The GE reveal, look for a bulb with a temperature close to the 2700 Kelvin. And then this is just the clutter. This is like a typical normal house. Of course, you don't want to see that. You don't want distractions. This is a home that they think they're ready, but they're really not. You want to make it look like a model home. Declutter, depersonalize. You don't want people coming in. I mean, that's a great stainless steel trash can, but do we really need it to be the focal point of the photo? No. The dog bowl, we don't want people in there thinking, number one, some are be like, oh, a dog, I wonder what kind they have. And others would be like, oh no, it might smell. I wonder if it went to the restroom in the house. And then they're going to wonder what kind of dog it is. And they're thinking about this dog the whole time instead of thinking about themselves in the home and living there. And that's what you want. You want them to walk in and feel like a model home and thinking about themselves in the home. So it's a product for sale. Same with bathrooms. There's always so much clutter, and trust me, these photographers do not want to touch someone's toothbrush or their loofah or anything like that. So ask them to declutter. And again, often they think they did declutter and that it looks right, but there's so much more you can do, the little touches to put things away and make it look like a model home. And all the toys and everything, and again, pictures on the wall. So you want to take those pictures down. Again, just even it being on the internet, just advise your sellers just for safety, security, take the photos down. And then when buyers are there, they're not thinking about, oh, look at the cute little baby. And, oh, they went to a trip to Italy and yada, yada. So they'll think about themselves in the home and not be distracted by the personal belongings. If you think you're hiding things under the bed, it is often visible. So, it's not hiding. And again, the name on the wall. So again, something like that is really easy for us to do. We wouldn't charge for that. But if there's a pattern with stripes and everything like that, it can be harder and sometimes not even possible because you have to match everything up. But something simple like that we can easily do. Sunny days with no window treatments, guess what? You will get glares on the floor. What your eye sees, we can't really change. The camera's not going to change it either. So if you see a big shadow and glare coming in, guess what? It's going to be there. So if there's not window treatments, or you might say, well, let's go ahead and turn the shades up so we don't have that glare. And that again is where night shots are so nice because you will not have those glares coming through the home. High rises, we highly recommend high rises in the evening because those are about the windows. It's about the view outside. That's what you're selling. So you can have bright windows during the day. Of course, now with HDR, we can make it look much better than that, but it still is ideal at dusk. And then just again, all of our services, not only is it photos, but we do aerial photos, video, the 3D Matterport, which we love. The quality is amazing on that. You know, people are able to see every square inch of the home. It's gorgeous. If you're looking at doing video or Matterport, when you are looking at a 2,000 square foot home, the price actually comes out pretty equal. It's when Matterport does get really expensive when you're getting into the higher square footage because it does take 30 minutes for every 1,000 square feet. So that's why it does get pricey on larger homes. But if you're comparing video to Matterport on a smaller home, 2,000, 2,500 square feet, prices are around the same. And I think the quality of Matterport is a lot better and they're seeing everything. Keep in mind in a video, you don't want your videos to be really longer than 2 minutes. And I mean, we definitely have produced videos longer than that because, you know, our clients are saying, well, what about this shot? What about it showing this, that? A video is a tease to get them in the door, to give them a glimpse of that home, to kind of show them a little bit more of the layout, but it's not really to show every single thing of the home. I mean, consumers lose attention, and that's just like Instagram. The limit is 1 minute video on Instagram. That's because people lose the attention span of looking at it. And that's what's nice about Matterport is you can just jump into any room that you want to go into and see it. And if you want to stay there longer, you can. You know, a video's playing, sure, you can pause it and everything and go back. But the goal of the video is not to show the entire home at all. It's just to give a little glimpse of it and just show a little bit more of the flow and the highlights of the home. Virtual tours, that's where we're taking the photos that we took for you. We're putting it into slideshow, and it kind of does actually give that video feel because it's moving and transitioning. It's only $45. It has music to it. You then have a link, and you can put it on your social media and everything too. So that's a really cost-effective way. And we also offer virtual staging and then photo albums. I always like to mention those because people don't realize that we have these, but they're a great closing gift.
Love that.
Yes, I mean, this is
They
just
start crying when they get them.
absolutely. And you can include personal photos that they have a family dog, the kids, you know, just get some personal pictures that they have and include it in here. You can even probably download them off their social media and they may not know. And then you've got it in the book. You can write a little letter. These are only $100. The service and turnaround time is extremely fast. Makes a great closing gift. It's 100% tax write-off because it's marketing. On the back of it, you can put your information and it says compliments of, and guess what? They show everyone this in their new house. It's out on the coffee table. And, oh, that's the home, you know, my kids grew up in it, and they're looking at it, and then bam, they see who the realtor is. And they say that studies show that sellers and buyers would use their realtor again if they could remember who it was. So they'll remember with this. Yes.
You also do one not your list.
As long as we get permission on the photos. So it's about a permission on the photos for that. Yes. $100. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it makes a great closing. Yeah.
And Emily does a great job of virtual staging.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes.
So just so the music that you're putting into your that music you have the license to, so that protects us.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Email Maryland sent.
Yes, yes, yes.
I have a question about the copyright because I got an email a couple weeks ago about we just sold your pictures to another agent. And my people were really upset because it had all their children's pictures, family pictures, art, everything in the pictures. So, and then we were talking about, I should have purchased copyright, so can you explain?
Yes, we're about to get into that right now. So let's see. So that's the photo books. We went over all of that. Super access. So it's the last thing I'm covering here. Super access. We do have access. We just have to have a CBS code. All of the supers have a CBS code, just not everyone's as familiar. That is called a call before showing. They require an extra security step for us. They do not want all of our photographers being able to walk up to any home that has a super and be able to enter. So that would not be right. That would not be safe or secure, right? So there's just one extra step that is required by our photographers when they enter their super. It's just not the PIN number, it's also the CBS code. And we can walk you through how to obtain that. We can also obtain it through HAR. It just takes us about 24 hours to get it from them. And all we need is a serial number to be able to obtain that. Okay, so the limited license. So what you all are used to and what all the realtors usually need is just a limited license, which is a short-term use of the photos for your sole use for the life of the listing while you have it listed, as well as it's written in there that it says even after the listing has sold, you can still use it for your just sold, and to even show even 3 years from now, if you wanted to say, I sold this listing, it's perfectly fine to have that, and we have that clause written in there. So we had this put in place in 2009. It is interesting. I mean, HAR had on the cover of their magazine, it must have been 3 or 4 years ago, where they were starting to talk about copyright. And Gordon, who is local here in Houston, is a copyright attorney, so that's who we had do it. But this goes out on every single email that you get from us. And it is also on all the invoices as well. So it's a limited license, and you're getting the photos for a discounted price because we know you don't really need them for that long, right? And you're gonna keep coming back and get more photos and more photos. So $95, that's for the base day shoot, and that's the limited license. Then, if you ever have a property where you don't want anyone else to ever use the photos, then you can have the unlimited license. Again, it's only your sole. You're not to share it with anyone. You're not to give it to a builder. And that is only $130 extra for the first 10 photos. And so that's just if you didn't want us to resell it to someone else. It doesn't mean that we can't use it for ours. And it's really to another realtor. Our photos have been on Bravo TV. It's giving credit to us on there. They've been in TMZ, People's Magazine, the Sotheby's New York office, Walter Baring, that photo that you had where they have it on the display, and Prism Awards. So builders and interior designers and architects like to use them for the Prism Awards. So there's a lot of use for the photos. And these are high quality photos that get used. They're on billboards. You're getting them from an extremely discounted rate. So we do always send a courtesy email, and it says, we have someone interested in purchasing this. And we want you to know this because we don't want you to pull up the listing and then you're like, oh, they took my pictures. We want you to know ahead of time. We also want to give you the opportunity to say something back to us. And there might be a reason, or to give that opportunity where you say, you know what, I really don't want these released. So I'll pay the extra $130 to prevent it from going to the next person. And we give 24 hours. 24 hours.
So this can be done after the fact?
Yes, you do not have to do it ahead. Yes.
So the 130 is just for 10 pictures?
Right. Yeah.
So if we take 30.
Then it's $750 for the additionals. Is that what we usually do?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
$750 per picture.
Yeah. But I mean, truly, like, they really, once you say they're not going to release, you can really just do the 130 because they're not going to say, oh, okay, well, what are the 10 we can't use and what are the other 22 we can use? So, I mean,
$7.50
right
per picture. picture for the next.
Because what
not
happens is,
700.
like, builders call us, and I mean, our prices are, like I said, for what you're getting, the quality, the prices are extremely inexpensive, and even builders who pay more than you do still find these are extremely inexpensive. We do restaurants, I mean, we do hair salons, we do dentist office, all because, and all of that's referral. We don't go out there and really market to that. It's just they heard word of mouth and they come to us, and that shows the quality's there. These people are using it for their websites. They're using it for their portfolio. They're using it for longevity. They're using it for a decade. All they're paying is $100. When they call our office, we say, if you want a day shoot and you want these right, the unlimited license, it's $225, which basically is $130 more than what you're paying. And then instead of them paying $5, they pay $12.50. And that's where the difference is. If you've already paid the $5, you're only paying the $7.50. So, because normally it's $12.50 on the additionals for our unlimited license. But even a builder that's doing this, they cannot go and share it with the interior designer. They cannot. Now, we will allow the builder is working with you, and the builder, contacted us to photograph the property, and now they're going to have you list it. We let them use the photos. I mean, that's fine, and we're not going to double charge or anything on that. So it's fine. But you will always get that courtesy email. We're never going to just be like, bam, you can have these pictures, without you knowing. So, and we do give 24 hours. So if we send you an email today, if we don't hear from you tomorrow, then we assume that it's fine. There's nothing going on. There's no reason, nothing's happened. And keep in mind that this goes full circle. I mean, there are going to be times that you're going to need photos that were previously taken. It might be that someone lost the listing, and that you took on the new listing, and the homeowner's now vacated. And it's the same homeowner, and the pictures we have all their furnishings, and they want to show it with furniture because it looks great. And now they vacated, and the homeowners are like, well, I want to use the same pictures. I don't want to show a vacant home. So it goes full circle. And I mean, I would say even here, we've had the most repurchases out of Martha Turner that have repurchased photos that we already have. So just keep it in mind. I know sometimes you're like, I don't like this and I don't want this to happen. But guess what? 2 weeks from now, you might need some photos that were previously used. So just know you do have the option to pay that additional $130, and then and I mean, it can get hairy. Then the homeowners get mad at you, and it's just like, just have good karma and just make everyone happy, and just know that it'll all go full circle and it'll come around again, and in the end, you will have times that it will happen with you needing photos as well.
Can a homeowner purchase the right?
We do have homeowners that do want to do that, or they want it for their memorabilia, and they can, but we always tell them too, because sometimes homeowners call us directly to book the appointment, and they pay for the photos, but then they go and list with different realtors, and we let them know ahead of time, you can use it one time with one realtor, but you do have to pay the license again if you switch realtors. And we are also, like, there was just the other day, actually, it was a Martha Turner. No, it wasn't a Martha Turner agent, but the other day we had someone that had us photograph a property. They used it for 1 week, something happened, and it went to another person, and then they didn't want to, with another firm, they didn't want to re-photograph, they wanted those. We credited the agent. I mean, we're going to do what we feel, they didn't get use out of it. If you got use out of the photos, that's one thing. I mean, we can't control that the listing didn't sell. But so it's a marketing tool. You did use the photos. If it didn't sell or it expired or terminated, that's out of our control. But if you didn't get to use the photos, usually like within a 30-day span, we're going to do what we feel is right and say, you know what, someone else wants to buy these. We're just going to go ahead and credit you. You didn't really get to use these pictures. I mean, 30 days is not a fair chance, right? And selling a listing. So,
Martha, you had a question?
Yeah, I do have a question. I have a listing, I have a few listings that are now vacant, but we all took the pictures when they were there. Do I need to put on my listing that this house is now vacant?
I don't think so, not.
MLS doesn't require it.
It's MLS, it's not an MLS rule.
I was kind of freaking out about that.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The only time MLS jumps in there is when, if somebody takes out a wall or something. Well, no, you can't totally redesign and remodel a house.
Yeah.
and show it, yeah.
So are there any other questions about the licensing?
So that means we can use those, let's say Martha has bought those. She can use them when she wants to send out just listed to
Yes.
sew,
Mhm.
things like that.
Absolutely.
Oh, like I just bought Mary Elizabeth's for Audubon.
Yeah, okay, good,
Yeah.
yeah.
The exteriors, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
bought like just the
Yeah.
exteriors. They didn't want me to have the interior, so I just bought the exteriors and then I did my own.
Yeah.
Yeah, good, okay.
And then, I don't know if the publications like Culture Map and Paper City and Modern Luxury are contacting the realtors first, or if they're contacting the marketing departments, but we are always chasing credit on those photos. So we'll see a link all of a sudden on Culture Map and it'll say, you know, photos courtesy of HAR or photos courtesy of Martha Turner Sotheby's. It does need to say TK Images on there. And we have now, this has been in place for actually a couple of years, that all of our photos on our links say TK at the end of it, because I know the advertising department has mentioned there are times that there are other photography companies, so then they're like, well, we don't know who photographed it, but all of ours always say TK Images. The metadata in there has our copyright. It has, you know, our the photography company, so it says TK Images when they go to the metadata. But these third parties, you know, of course, aren't looking at the metadata because that's something you have to be able to go into a program and see it. But Modern Luxury is really good. They are always crossing their T's and dotting their I's and making sure they know that the realtor didn't take the pictures. So, and we're perfectly fine with it saying photos courtesy of TK Images by Martha Turner, you know, or where it still incorporates both, which Houston Press often does that. They'll list
don't
both.
have that control though, like.
That's what I was saying. I'm not sure that it's the realtor. It might be the advertising firms that whoever they're retrieving the pictures from. But sometimes if it's the realtor, just know to give credit to TK Images. And these are a few of the publications that we'll see them on. And then we want to say we appreciate letting us do what we love each and every day. Our team has grown so much. We have 31 people now.
Wow.
So we have 11 photographers and we're adding 2 more. One, we're soon going to be able to cover the Kingwood and Baytown area with no drive time. So we're so excited about that. And then we have 9 editors as well. So it's just really grown and we appreciate it. Craig, he's up at the top.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Yes.
On your website, do you have a picture of each photographer and their name? Because often, you know, you don't, I've had occasion where a photographer came and I didn't, you know, he told his name and then he's gone.
Right.
And I don't remember. He did a great job.
Yes.
And I would say, well, the guy with, you know.
Uh-huh.
There's some people who photograph certain types of homes maybe a little better than others.
Right. And, you know, I always say relate it to like a hairdresser. Because I go to my hair salon all the time and they're all great in there, but you get used to your person. And what's great about our scheduling system is when you call, we have what's an alert. So we just type in your name and alert comes up. And if there's anything we know in particular about you that you like if you like a contact sheet every time, then it says CS. If you pay with a credit card, it says CC. If you like a certain photographer, it says prefers da-da-da. So we know right away this is what you like. So if there's ever anything that you want us to know, let us know and we can put that on the alert. So on our website, it does have our group photo, but it doesn't list every person.
Good
So
to tell the name.
yeah, I'll do that on the group photo. I'll go back and, because we're actually revamping a few things on the site right now. Yes.
I hate to see what my alert says. I know in the past, recently, or the past year or two, we've tried to schedule and it says will be confirmed for a day, but not a time, and y'all will let us know the time the day before as you work the schedule. That's really hard for us, because our schedules fill up and we're booking, so to basically then get an email the day before saying we're gonna come to you at 2 and our day's all booked, doesn't work.
Yes.
I understand why y'all need to do that, but it's become an issue.
Right, I appreciate that feedback. So a couple of things. Number one, we do have some alerts that say must always give time. So some need that time and have to have it, so we have to give it when they book. Others are flexible, and so we don't have to do it for everyone because some are a little bit more flexible and don't have a really tight schedule. We do send our confirmations 2 days before. the schedule constantly changes. In order to fit all the appointments in, we've got to be able to map, for point A to point B and get people. So what we try to do is, if someone's needing, is give a range. Do you need the morning range? Okay, we'll put in there that we need to do this appointment between 10 to 12:30. Then we're gonna nail down the time 2 days before when we send that. That helps us a lot, and we completely understand that your schedules are very busy and you need to know, and your homeowners need to know. So like if we can work together and work on that range, that's a huge help for us, because and then the schedule, you wouldn't believe, like people call and we're like, we're sorry, we're booked, for 3, and I tell you that schedule falls apart right and left. And, we've got this beautiful schedule and everyone's going to order, and then all of a sudden, and then we just go to our wait list though, and you're used to those calls, and we think we don't have a night shot for a week, and then bam, we've got one tomorrow, because it happens. A pipe burst, someone's sick, the baby's sleeping, whatever it may be. There's something that always comes up that they're not ready. They didn't get the home ready. We went by there. It's a disaster still. And we get cancellations all the time. So yes, we understand your time is very important. We want to work with you. If you have to have that time, and sometimes you might usually be flexible, but you might have a particular homeowner and you're like, you know what, on this one, I have got to tell them. They're elderly. We need to know the time. We've got to have everything organized. Let us know. We are happy to accommodate. Absolutely. I just wanted to bring up the website here. We launched this last August. I don't know if you all have been on here, but this is a great tool to use. If you go under portfolio, it has tons of examples of high rises and dust shots and the commercial and the aerials. And, even if you're just wanting for a listing presentation to show, here's the quality of the images that the photography company I use. Services, if you can go under services and pricing. This is great. Go under residential MLS, please. And then if you just scroll down, it tells you exactly what the pricing is. A front shot if we're not meeting, a front shot if we are meeting, the daytime, and it gives you an example. The dusk, in detail, what the pricing is. Aerial, return shot, if we have to go back. That have the cancellation piece about video, all the different examples and pricing on video. So you can sit there and watch those examples. The virtual tour slideshow. The Matterport and see those examples. Virtual staging, this is really neat. If you click on that yellow, it'll show you the room empty and then show it furnished with the virtual staging. Just so we'll go back to the yellow. I just want you to be able to move that bar. Yeah. So vacant. Yeah, so that's fun. You can just show your homeowners if they have a vacant home. You say, oh, well, this is what we can do for you. We can do virtual staging.
Wait,
and show them an example.
I didn't know that existed. So the one that you just virtually staged for me, I've shown it as empty.
Right.
And then they have to click on the next one to show virtual.
Yeah, in MLS, I don't think it would be interactive. Yeah, it wouldn't be able to be interactive. Yeah. So you do have to do the side by side. Next, you don't need brochure design because you have an amazing marketing department here, and then the photo albums there as well. And then if you go back up to, well, you can even go to the bottom and click on that schedule now. And that's where you can go in. I mean, if it's at midnight and you're like, I need to schedule this listing appointment. When you do it online through here, you can have a login or you can just do it as guest, either way. But basically, it's just going to prompt you all the questions that we're going to ask so that we can make sure we have all the information to make sure everything goes smooth at the appointment and just everything's lined up and detailed. So it's a great tool to use. All right, I think that's all the time.
Thank you. I think
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Julie, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for coming. Okay, y'all, we have a great interloop meeting next. So y'all stick around. We want to hear Liz. Where is Liz? Oh, there she is. Didn't see you hiding back there. She is ready to go. Y'all have a terrific day. Bye, everybody. Interloop market meeting now. So Liz is going to do a presentation for us. Y'all have a great day. Paul, at some point, I want to talk to you.
Yeah, call me anytime today.
I didn't understand that. Martha, walk here.
Yeah, give me a call.
Yeah.
From our association.
So after these great things, I'm trying to get right now.